I guess take me back to your days at WREX. It's been 12 years since you've been there, but just any standout memories or what jumps out to you about your time at WREX?
I mean, I got to do a lot of really cool things when I was there. I was, a reporter to start out, and then I moved to morning show anchor. Didn't do that for very long, before I moved to evening anchor. Spent the bulk of my time there as the evening anchor, and I got to do a lot of cool things. So things that stand out to me are first the people. We had amazing people working there, made lifelong friends. And so when you're working in a market like that and everybody works so hard, you really make a lot of friends. They're like your family. And so still keep in touch with everybody who I worked with there. But as far as some of the stories, I mean, there were some really good ones and there were some really funny ones. I jumped out of a plane when I was working at WREX. I also flew with the Blue Angels in an F-16 when I was with, and if you need the footage, I might still have it. I don't know if it's
Yeah, if
on
you
a
want to
perfect,
send that over, yeah.
I don't know.
These
It's
archives
probably
are
on.
tough to dig into these days with the changing technology.
I know. I think it's probably on an old like DVC Pro tape or something like that. So I don't know if you
Yeah, I think the only deck we have is down right now for DVC Pro, so we have no means of accessing any old stuff from that era.
at least you have one. I don't know if we do, but I'll try to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just the people, the Rockford community was just so great and just very welcoming, because I was not a native, but an Illinois girl still. And so I just loved the people there, not just the people I worked with, but the people in general. We still go down all the time. My husband was born and raised in Rockford. And so one of my kids, my daughter was born in Rockford, and my in-laws are still there. So we visit Rockford quite a bit. In fact, my husband is going to visit today. So we're there a lot. And so it holds a special place in my heart because I spent so much time there at WREX, and that's where I met, my husband, and where we had our first child and everything like that. So
Yeah, say I know I see you around town every so often in like city market, things like that,
yeah.
right? Um,
Yeah, we went to City Market not too long ago, so we still like getting down there.
you kind of touched on it a little bit, but just the aspect of a small newsroom and that family feeling. I was talking to Katie Nielsen or Katie Zimmerman about it yesterday, and she kind of had some similar things to say just about the bond that you create. It's unlike anything else, right?
Well, she's one of the people I first thought about when I was talking about that. I mean, I just texted her for her birthday the other day. So, and we're trying to figure out when to get together. So I still talk with Katie and a lot of people that I worked with at WREX, not just her, but many, many people. And so, yeah, you create like those lifelong bonds, and they just become part of your family. And so I love that I'm still so close to so many people, because a lot of them still work in that area, even if they're not in the news business, they still work and live in Rockford. And so, I'm close enough where we still get to hang out. So it's awesome. The things that I learned in my time at WREX are skills that I use today in my job as a news director up at our WREX's sister station, WKOW in Madison. So WREX is where I first learned management skills, managing people, managing the daily content of what we were putting out there. And so I'm really appreciative of my time there, because that's what started me on the path where I am today. And so I just look back at it very fondly. I spent, I thought I was going to spend 2 years in Rockford and then move on. And I didn't. I spent 10 years there and I loved it. I'm going to get emotional just thinking about it, thinking about the people I met there. You know how it is working in a newsroom like that. And you guys are really just set up for such great success with the people you have there. Your news director, who I love Greg, and the general manager, Ed, who was my news director. I worked under him for many years here at WKOW. And then he, went to Rockford. So I just wish you guys the best. I mean, everybody there is amazing. And I see what you guys do on a daily basis. You should be really proud of how you're serving the community.
And just something that I remember when I interviewed at WREX, it was like November of 2011. They were planning this big goodbye show for you. Can you tell me just think back on that, what that was like having this whole this show dedicated to you?
I was very embarrassed by that. It was like, why is this whole show? It was embarrassing. I mean, it was very thoughtful, but I just felt like I didn't deserve like this big hoopla. I did want to come back and say goodbye to everybody and say goodbye to the community. And I got to show off my little baby girl on the air. That was really cute. So we brought her back, and she was tiny. She was only a few days or a few weeks old. She's going to be 12 now. So she's going into 6th grade. So, and just flourishing up here. So, yeah, it goes by so fast. But yeah, I remember just feeling that's so nice that they want to bring me back to say goodbye. And I thought it would be like a little goodbye at the end. And then all of a sudden they're like, this is a whole show dedicated to Dani Maxwell. And I just thought that is not needed. I just kind of wanted to say goodbye. And so it was a little embarrassing when they started, playing all my bloopers and stuff.
Yeah, it had to be fun to look back on though.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a tough day. One of the toughest days of my career was when we lost Jeannie Hayes. I'm sure you remember Jeannie well. Just to kind of share some memories, yeah, about her.
Yeah, I can. So, and you're gonna make me cry, but Jeannie was. Jeannie was one of the best people I've ever met in my life. She just was. And she and I were very close. We used to watch that TV show together, So You Think You Can Dance. So we were both like very into that. She would come over to my house after the news, like late at night, after I got done with the 10 o'clock news. And Jeannie, another employee there, a director, and me, and we just like giggle like schoolgirls and watch this show, So You Think You Can Dance, and we just loved it so much. I still love it, and I can't watch it without thinking about Jeannie. But and we got he was my boyfriend at the time, but my husband, because we were just like downstairs at like midnight watching this show. She was there when my daughter was born. She was seriously the best person in the whole world, and she loved animals so much. Well, you probably know that about her. She was like this huge animal lover. That was like her passion. And so it was really hard when she died so suddenly. It was just a blow to not only the friends and the coworkers she worked with, but the entire community. I stayed around after her services to kind of help her parents get her apartment all ready and everything like that. And that was tough to do and go through. But Jeannie left like this legacy that, people still remember. In fact, posthumously, two of her books that were she had written, children's books, were published. And I have that book. It's like a double book, and I read it to my kids all the time. And then I show them Jeannie's picture and say, this was mommy's friend, and she was awesome. And so they ask about her, even though they never really met her. So she was one of the great ones.
Yeah, I still read that to my kids too. It's awesome. And I watch Mean Girls every November in her honor as well.
Yeah. Oh my God, I know. We love
that was our favorite movie to quote together.
Oh my God. And she was just the greatest. She really, really was. And it was just so such a shock, because when that happened, I had already moved up here. it was about a year after I had moved up here, or at least taken the job here. And so, that was tough to hear. And I went to the hospital and got to, see her, in the hospital, and say goodbye. It was so hard, so hard.
Definitely. Well, thanks for sharing that, Danny. I didn't mean to make you cry today, but
That's okay. I was gonna cry at work today. It's okay,
let's
it's a
see.
good cry.
Can you take me, I guess, you said you're from Illinois. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, I grew up in the south suburbs, actually, in Frankfurt, it's called.
Okay.
It's near like Tinley Park. Yeah, and so I grew up just in the, the south suburbs of Chicago. So so Rockford was really a great place to work for me because it was really close to, my
Yeah.
family. They still live, most of them.
Mhm.
And so that was a big reason why I stayed so long. The other was that I met my husband, and so we kind of started a life there and everything.
Yeah.
So
Where else did you work before Rockford?
I worked in Peoria at WHOI in Peoria. I did an internship at WCIA in Champaign, but
Okay.
then I really, like, after graduation, I started my career at KREX in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. So I went from one REX to another REX. And I was there for maybe about a year and a half. I reported, and then I anchored the morning show, and then moved back to Rockford, moved to Rockford, I should say, to be closer to my family. I had a family member who was very sick. So I wanted to be closer to, close family and everything, which is why I took the job in Rockford at WREX.
Yeah, that's awesome. Same deal here. I was out in North Carolina for about 7 years and
Were you?
moved back closer to home. Yeah.
Are you from the suburbs too, or are you from Rockford?
Yeah, I'm from like Palatine, Rolling Meadows area, so northwest
north
suburbs.
Yeah.
So it's nice and easy trip home from here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, Daniel, anything else you want to share today?
I don't think so.
We covered a lot.
I'm laughing. You had me crying.
It's a good day then. Now you just got to think a little bit, right? Jim Valvano once said.